All right. What's up, guys? I'm Jason Lawrence. This is Kevin Windham. This is Kyle Swanson. I call him Coach Kev. Call him Trainer Kyle. I'm J Law. You call me J Larry. Loop out since I've been here at the farm, and we are just trying to show you what goes on here. That's maybe like our intro. All right, so we made a post last night and asked you guys what you wanted to know about my road to Loretta's or what happens here at Farm 14 Training Facility. I personally picked the questions myself, and the first one is going to go to Mr. David Pingree himself. His question is for Kevin, and he wants to know, Kevin, when are you coming on the Whiskey Throttle show?
What is Whiskey Throttle show?
All right, here, we'll get back to that one. We're going to have to figure that one out. We have another guy. He wants to know, K-Dub, how many cans do you dip per day?
One a day, unless I'm having a bad day. If I got to train these guys extra hard and extra stressful, but it is probably my one single poison at this point. That and soda. Don't drink beer anymore. Pretty much just dip. So it's coffee, dip, soda dip, mix in a couple Gatorades. That's how I get through. So I'm not here for a long time, just here for a good time, J-Law.
That's right. And, well, talking about Kevin's poison, for every soda that I give him, I take one of his chews. So I'm just trying to keep it even around here. So,
J-Law mixes in Black and Milds with the dip.
Yeah.
So I'm only one step away from getting there to Loretta's, right? If I put some Black and Mild in my life, I might race there this year.
Right. We have to refrain from that in the staging area. That is a smoke-free zone at the ranch, guys. Don't forget about that. Don't catch the wrath of Tim Cotter. It's too easy to get last gate picked. So, Kyle, you're our trainer here. We know you do a good job with all the kids who stay here. And can you tell us a little bit about, like, what do they do during the week? Is it same days each week, certain hours? Just give us, like, for people who don't know, an idea of what they would do if they signed up for, say, a week here and they got here ready to ride on Monday.
Yeah, man, it's a full week. We stick to the same schedule every week. We ride 4 days a week. Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays we're on the bike. And then our off days are Wednesdays and the weekends. But even on Wednesdays and Saturdays, we're still in the gym. So it's a full 6-day program. Sundays, we call it off, but as you know, you're just getting ready for Monday. So really, I mean, it's full time out here.
About 8 hours a week.
Probably
2 hours a day. I think most people spend on their dirt bikes, give or take.
Yeah.
All right. Well, somebody else, Slim Pickens, 13, wants to know, K-Dub, if you could pick any current rider to take your place of the opening ceremony transfer, who would it be?
At this point, it would just be anybody. I don't even have a favorite that I want to see do it. I was talking to Plessinger because Plessinger's already got this thing going where he's got some good vibes with the crowd, and they're supporting him in a big way right now. I think it would send it next level, but he didn't bite on it. Like, and I'll tell you guys straight up, like there was, like if it looked crazy, I just want to let you know that it was, and I don't think it's the best thing. Like when I really got to the big ones, because they started at 60 and 70, and that was cool, and they went to 80, and that was cool, but when they get to like 120, it's not really that good of an idea because you cannot be focused on winning races or winning championships. At that point in my career, I wasn't a winner, right? I wasn't really a big threat to win. I just wanted to go out and have fun, and I still had some good showings, but my value wasn't in necessarily winning races. So be hard pressed to, look, you got to work with Feld. You got to work with the camera. Now they got cameras on cables, and you got to meet with the pyro guys, and you got to meet with the lighting guys, because nothing's worse than being in the dark except for when there's a bright light shining in your face and you're in the dark. So you got to work with the spotlight guys and dirt works and tough blocks, and there's a lot that goes into it. You don't just go out there and say, I'm going to jump from here to there. So it takes a lot of your time, and I would go in a day early so I could kind of scope it out. You look at track maps and say, man, it'd be cool to go from here to there, but in reality, does it get built like they have it on the map and all that stuff? So it was a lot of work that went into it, and then you do it, typically I would do it like the day before. Normally like Friday night I would go out there and do my transfer, but then you got all day of racing, or not all day of racing, you got all day of practice, and Dirtworks is out shaping things up, and is it going to be exactly like it was when you first left? So it's a risky deal, but I think it was, look, it's something that I'll talk about for the rest of my life, and I think that anyone that ever got a chance to see it, or kids these days at least YouTube it, it was pretty gnarly. So I don't, at this point, I don't care. I would love to see someone bring it back, but it's not sane. Like it's really difficult.
I think the answer to that question is who's capable and who wants to step up. I mean, I don't think K-Dub has a copyright on that, and that's kind of been open since he retired. Nobody really wants to fill that spot because it's gnarly. You hear how much work it is and stuff actually goes into that, so definitely cool to hear things like that. But we got some more questions, and what somebody wants to know for me is which farm animal keeps you most honest during the motos and the drills? Well, I don't know because
Tell the truth.
I haven't had that much experience motoing with the kids because I'm kind of in the B group around here, but there's some good talent here. And I would say keeps me honest would probably be maybe Wyatt Creighton, just because I haven't really seen many of the other kids ride the jump track that I like to ride, but I know there's a lot of fast kids here, and when I come back, I'm sure I'll be able to have a better answer for that. But right now, they almost all keep me honest.
But it's hard for the guys to ride with J-Law because so he's getting a little comfortable. When he first got here, he's like, yeah, I'm just here to do whatever, like guide me, whatever. And then like, I don't know, how many stickers you got on the front gate? 10, 11, 12?
I believe it's 16.
Okay, 16 already. So the other day I was like, hey, bud, I want to watch you ride. And it's like 8 at night. It's getting dark, but he still gets it done. So I'm like, I want to watch you ride. He's like, yeah, I'm in your place. You do whatever you want. But I just want to let you know, you're screwing up my vibe. Like, I'm out here riding for me. I'm not out here riding for you. So that was like his politest way of saying, don't watch me ride. So I go back to my house. And I'm like thinking like, damn, how can I like to watch him because he's inspiring. Like, he's got good line choice. He does cool things on the bike, and he's got some cool things happening. So I'm like, I just want to kind of soak it in. Like, he's a champion. He's a pro. He's all that stuff. So I go home and I'm like thinking, man, how can I go watch J-Law? And I'm like, I need to put on my full camo gear, headgear, long sleeve, and like kind of belly crawl through the woods. Because as soon as the kids go back and watch him, he's like, hey man, did Kevin tell you to be out here? And they're like, no, we just want to watch you ride. He's like, yeah, get the hell out of here. Go. Unless Kevin said to be out here, you go. He just likes doing his own thing, and that's what you gotta appreciate it. He gets his work done, and he does it on his own pace.
Yeah, he did. He told me, hey, I don't have a problem with you riding right here. I just get a little worried about you riding by yourself, with the jumps. So I started tucking my phone in a goggle case, and I thought that was good. And then I saw the kid who helps around here doing all the track work, Chris, he was sitting out there. And I was pretty sure that Kevin had told him, hey, next time Jason goes out there by himself, sit out there in case something happens. So I did my moto, and I got done, and I rode over to him and said, hey, did Kevin tell you sit out here to chaperone me? He said, no. And I said, good. Because look, I really don't like this, dude, so go back to your truck. It's messing up my vibe. That's just how I am, dude. So I have a hard time telling the boss that, but hey, he took it yesterday. He was going to let me do my thing. I saw him go out on the lawnmower, and I thought, now's my chance. I shot out there. So there's no way this man's creeping through the woods for sure. I was looking for him, but no, he pulled up in his truck right there. Then he asked me today, did you see me? But I saw him.
Hey.
I'll tell you exactly what lap I saw him.
What happened on the lap I pulled
Because
up?
it's the exact time I hit the root in the right-hand turn and then hit my bars on the... man, it all went crazy for me right there.
2 mistakes in 1 lap just because I pulled up.
But like he says, well, how are you gonna make that switch when you go to Loretta's? And it's probably true. So there's definitely going to be a part at Loretta's where I'm going to be like out of my comfort zone. So whether that was a stadium full of roaring chicks or just Kevin, either way, it helps me. So we're going to keep it moving. And another question is, K-Dub, will you be making a return to the ranch to race?
Whew. I went and talked a lot of crap last year about how bad I wanted to go. And it's... in theory, yeah, I'm as good as I ever was and need to go out there and kind of continue chasing something. I think we all get kind of sucked into that, desire. But the reality is, for me to do, you got guys like Reed popping up. You got guys like these 2 guys popping up. You got Short killed it at the regional. You got all these guys, and I'm just not about going to the ranch and getting my ass kicked for sure. And when I look at balancing my family life and what I do for my kids and then what I do for the facility kids, I just don't know how you mix me into that equation. And man, when I drive over the hill into Loretta's, that feeling that I got from 1986 to 1994. It's still there when I drive in 2024 in a couple of days. It's still there, but the work that it takes, and honestly, like what these facility kids do on a daily basis was what I did to win my championship, man. The whole sport's different. Like their riding is insane, and they're super talented, and their work ethic is huge. And look, we can debate all day long if facility life is the right move for the sport, but it is where the sport went. So like people say, well, I don't want to get burnt out. I don't want to do it. Well, you got a choice. You can either stand to maybe not get burnt out or never get the chance to get burnt out because you never get good enough. Like these cats are burning a lot of fuel every day, and they're riding a lot, and they're working hard. I promise you, I know exactly what I did. What they're doing right now got me a championship in 95 and 96.
Yeah. I think at Loretta's too, it's like it has really elevated. I think all of us who took the same path racing there as an amateur and then went into pros and then are still in the sport and wanting to ride, I think all of us at the time when we were at the peak of our amateur career said on the podium, I can't wait till after I retire, I'm going to be back here racing. We saw Ricky said the same thing and went through with it, but truthfully, it has progressed, dude, and it's a lot of work. Whether you're in the plus class, the vet class, or the mini classes, it's a lot of work. And I mean, I'm seeing it because, I mean, I signed up for this, and I think I'm, bit off a little more than, not more than I can chew. It was more than I was expecting. I realized at the race is what the level is. So seeing that, I don't know if that's really going to be much of an encouragement to these guys to want to saddle up and go to the ranch. But on one hand, I did show up here 6th place from my area, from my regional qualifier. So that should put me, if we math it out, about 35th at the ranch. And I've only been here for a few weeks, and I bet you I'm definitely going to be in top 5 at the ranch. So
whoa, predictions?
You heard that? Yeah, I was top 10. I counted 10 fast guys on my drive here who I thought, I could see myself getting beat by this guy in a regular race. Well, now I looked at that same list, and I could only find like 5 of them now.
Hey, I think this is going to be really
names.
interesting for this conversation with you two sitting on my right and my left. Where was he on that list while you were driving before, and where is he on that list now?
Do you know what? When I looked at the names, I looked at the names. Kyle Swanson, I'm just straight up, dude. I didn't even put you on my top 10. I took Andrew Short from that region because I went to the regional results. And hey, this is a test to how tough the field is, and how high the level is, because I didn't even consider him. And I got here, sorry, dude, but if I wrote down my, score at the ranch, it was definitely not going to be beating Kyle Swanson when I showed up here. Now, I'm not going to say that same thing now because I've been working.
16 days, baby.
But just to say, now, that's a guy who I overlooked. Now, who knows how many more of those there are. But I factor Kyle into my new top 5 list. He might be hurt. He might be on the cusp of that, but still, there's a lot of guys, but
Thank you.
I'm knocking him off the back end. Shorty, you're still on there, but you're hanging on. All right, well, without getting into, specifics on the prices, when people come here, do they have to sign up for, I'm here for the whole 9, or can they come and say, hey, I just want to try it for a week? Can they come for a day, we don't really need exact numbers, but can these kids come here with a short-term plan? Do they just contact you and we can tailor a plan to everybody? Or?
Yeah, we can kind of tailor a plan to everybody. Like Kevin says, though, the truth of it is, you're not getting anything out of a day. You don't really even get a whole lot out of a week, more than just understanding the lifestyle that we have out here. I do find the value in people coming out and getting to see it for their first time, but the real value is in the time. And we're not just saying it's not a money grab. I stand by the fact that we are one of the cheapest facilities in the entire United States. Out of all the major facilities, I would like to say we're actually the cheapest facility out of all major facilities, which isn't something that we should pride ourselves on, but Kevin's real big about it being, fair on all ends, and he knows what it takes to make ends meet. And as you've said, J-Law, you got to double that price. There ain't no way. This is ridiculous, you've said, and you've stressed that. So, we are not the highest priced people. We are here for quality. Over quantity, and yeah, so we're not going to say any specific prices on here. We don't want to start too much, but yeah, you just reach out to Farm 14 or myself on Instagram, Kyle Swanson, direct message, and we'll just kind of tailor a program to you and kind of let you know what'll be best for you and your future and what you think you want, and give you everything you need here to do it. And for the rest, it's kind of up to you.
Cool. So this question right here could be for both of us, and that's, what is your honest expectation at the ranch? And Kyle is in 25 plus, same class as me. We'll let him talk about his expectation and if he's hurt or if that was a hoax. But how are you feeling going into the ranch?
I feel good. I feel really good physically and mentally. I haven't got to ride a whole lot this year, but being with Kevin for now a little bit over a year and being by his side and teaching alongside of him, there's so much that I overlooked in 27 years of racing. And so much that I've learned with him that I believe, even without the perfect physical condition, with just those tips and tricks and things to look out for in racecraft that I've developed, he's going to laugh when I say it, but I think I could win.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I know that. We talked about it. I think that if I feel good and everything's going my direction, which is a lot to ask at the ranch and a 32-year-old racer, I really think I have the ability to put together a moto. At Loretta's, I don't think you have to be the fastest guy in the world to win. I think it does take racecraft. We do have people like Andrew Short, who's king of racecraft.
He's good.
He did me dirty at regionals. I went
so
2-2-2 to that guy. But we've talked about, Loretta's is a slower race, and I think the advantage won't be as big for Andrew. And I learned a lot at Colorado. Everything that Kevin has taught me, Andrew beat me with those same things at Colorado. So I say I've learned them. I got my butt whooped by them doing them. But we've done a lot of studying.
So your answer was win.
I believe I can.
Well, I'll tell you what, to your point, Kyle, you definitely can win. And you know how I know that you can win? Because you're as fast as me, and I know I can win. So you definitely have a chance of winning, bud. More power to you.
Got to pick your feet up. Bunch of shit on the floor.
All right, so what's my honest expectations at the ranch? My expectations at the ranch are, I expect to be in the top 5. If I'm not in the top 10 and there's not some like crazy out of my control circumstance, I'm not going to be happy. But there's really not a result that is going to make me say, I wish I didn't do that, because Loretta Lynn's to me is like it's like a full circle type thing. I went there last year after being out of the sport for years and years, and it was like my return back to the sport, or almost to the world. First time I had my picture taken in like 10 years or something. So that to me was not really an emotional experience, but I realized, like, dude, I just need to get back to the dirt bike and just find a dirt bike goal and chase that. And that is, with the help of MX Sports, what I set my goal as. So might have been kind of a high goal, and maybe I would have went a little more recreational festival style things, but I'm happy I did it, and I expect to be top 5. I will be top 10 unless something crazy happens, but I can win at the ranch. And if it rains and I don't win, I will be surprised. I will really be surprised.
Hey, can I do a first time ever in my life? Can I put one in during the interview?
What do you mean?
Well, I just had to spit one out.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Yeah. Well, that goes to another question that somebody, I don't know if they were trying to be funny, and they said, can you smoke and drink at the farm? Well, of course, you can smoke if you're of legal age. And you can drink whatever you want here. We drink Armor products. K-Dub mainly drinks sodas. Kyle, when he drinks waters, he calls it, what do you call it?
My super one.
Yeah. It's like his protein shake almost. But we don't really do much on the alcohol around here. We don't check your coolers at the gate, but I choose not to drink. Kevin chooses not to drink. It just doesn't really flow around with the lifestyle here of all the kids. But I mean, if you're asking because you're a dad and you want to fund your kid's trip here and you want to crack a cold one in the
I don't think
camper,
a dad asked. I don't think a dad asked.
Eh.
So let me break it down to another level. So I when you come here, like, we have a conversation. I'm 46. You're 37, 36, 37?
36.
This is not my chance to change your life. Like, this is my time to help you, the person that J-Law is, which is, you said Wyatt Creighton. He's different than Wyatt Creighton. He's different than Kyle Swanson. Like, I want to accentuate who you are, give you a nice place to ride, talk about lines, talk about this, talk about riding. If riding means to you that you like to go out there and it's just your time to be at peace and ride your dirt bike, I'm not going to shut you down at 8 o'clock. No, if you come here and you're like, hey, I want to learn how to go through corners. I don't want to be a national guy. I want to learn to maybe jump. Be nice to ride a wheelie, which, by the way, no one here can ride a wheelie. Like, what racers ride wheelies these days? It's a lost art to ride a wheelie. But if you come here and you say that you want to win on a national level, I'm going to treat you a heck of a lot different than I'm going to treat J-Law. Or if you're trying, let's set goals. Tell me who you want to be. Tell me what you want to become, and let's build a program to at least give you the best chance, the best effort to get to that goal. That's why I have most of my falling out comes with guys that set their expectations at this level that I'm like, hey, bro, Z is where you want to end and your expectation, and you came here at A and we're at D and you're missing steps already. Like, I'm going to be on your ass, but it's all about like my job to have this facility, because right now, all I want to do, like, I got a job, right? And it's not just mowing grass and like, dude, this is hole shot dirt from working with the kids today doing hole shots. And, you got to clip and you got to do this and you got to do that. Yeah, we got those jobs. I got my real job. This is just a hobby for me. But if you're going to be real with me and tell me what you want to do, then trust in me and my, hell, do the math, 43 years of experience. Then let's build a program to get you there. And then there's going to be accountability when you don't hit the marks, because it doesn't just magically happen. Like a light switch you don't come to Farm 14 and a light switch flips on and you're the guy. It takes all of the steps, and you need to have somebody to hold you accountable. So, I mean, yeah, that may be a funny question because it's you, or maybe it's, hell, I drank my ass off when I raced. I wish I wouldn't have. I wish I was the guy that I am today when I was racing. Things would have been a lot better. I won a lot of races. I didn't win a lot of championships. And maybe had I not went to so many bars, maybe that would have happened. But if your goal is not to be that guy, then let's have a conversation what your goal wants to be. If you want that goal and you come in here, I'm going to hold your ass accountable.
Cool. So one more thing to your question, I would say, if your goal is to come and drink and smoke with me, there's a cheaper way to do it, bro. It's not going to work. All right. That's pretty much about what I got for questions. So I've been here and I've had the opportunity to ride 16 times. That's actually 14 riding days, though, because there's a few days I rode twice.
2 days.
And I still haven't put a Dunlop tire print on all the track here. Tell us about what is going on here with all the tracks. We know there's the Farm 14 that kids play on video games and MX bikes. We know there's the track that you guys will see me riding a little bit with all the jumps over there. There's a track somewhere around here with the airplane hangar that we've seen you on DVDs. I look on the map and I know there's a Supercross track somewhere. I get lost all the way down there into the swamp ride, turn tracks, jumps, rain ruts. Tell us, what is going on here with how much is there to be ridden here?
Well, I live on 2,000 acres, so that's a lot of room to go and do whatever. And I'm surprised that you haven't explored it all, because you've been riding a bunch and just kind of go off. So I'm glad to hear that you haven't hit it all. But we got a Supercross track, working on a second Supercross track. I got my big track, and there's six now. Six turn tracks in the back with various levels of jumps, and some with no jumps, some with huge jumps, the ones you like to ride. Huge jumps.
Big jumps.
And some of them don't have any jumps. So it's kind of, and they all kind of, some are super slow, some are a little bit faster, some are really fast. So it's a wide variety of skill sets that you have to have. A free riding park where a bunch of hits, like just takeoffs and lips everywhere, so where you can do that kind of stuff. There's a trail system. We'll do mountain bikes on the trails. We'll do motorcycles on the trails. And so this ground here is pretty unique, especially with the grass. Dude, if it rains and we're rained out, I'll go drop. I don't love my grass enough to not go drop a disc anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, you were here one day, it rained like 2 inches, and everybody was like, oh, what are we going to do? I'm like, go sit. They prepped the track at 8 in the morning. Well, we were riding at 8. We started prepping before that. We were riding at 8. Rain came at 9. I was like, let's let the storm pass. Go back, and we're going to come out and do a moto. Everybody's like, oh, we're getting close to Loretta. I don't want to ruin my race bike. I don't want to ruin this. I don't want a mud moto right now, which is crazy, because it's probably going to rain at Loretta's at some point. But dude, we just went and dropped a disc in the grass, and all of a sudden a new track was born. And with 2,000 acres, we can do whatever. We haven't even even touched the tip of the iceberg. Now I'll tell you, like aesthetically and visually, you guys were talking, let's do a drone, let's do this. Like, you know, the front track, we haven't rode that thing since March, so it looks haggard. But when that comes on our list to go ride that thing, I'm gonna go put my equipment on there. We're gonna get it looking bitchin' and have a great day. And we rotate around because, look, I mean, I understand variety is the spice of life. So you are at farm and there are, you're on 2,000 acres, but some of the guys literally from where we sit right now, which is going to be a rec room. Some people were asking about the rec room. We're trying to build a nice rec room to watch Supercross and cook and kind of have some fellowship. But the furthest guy away that's living on my property in one of our houses is like 4.5 miles from here. So they leave and they go to my house and work out. Hopefully we'll get some clips of the gym. And while you're here, you're kind of moving around, so it's not so stagnant. And like, I'll be honest with you, and for the video, like, you haven't rode all of our tracks, but you also on your own time created tracks that I haven't created either. Yeah. Like, you mix them and match them and cross hit stuff, and it's nice to have pretty grass on the side of your jumps, but I don't care with you having the creativity to go out and create your own stuff for a day. Now, don't do donuts in my front patch up there where you were doing. Dude. I did have to get on them one time. Just cutting donuts in my front patch.
He says I heard him say earlier in the interview, yeah, well, when people get here, we have a little conversation. And I was thinking, I didn't get that conversation. I'm learning the rule book as I go, bro. As I break them, that's how I learn the rule book. So you don't do donuts on the grass. There's a couple things you don't do. I'll fill you in when you get here. But one thing that I will say is maybe the best aspect about being at this place is since I've been here, the weather can be doing whatever it wants. Like he said, it can rain. As long as it's not lightning, you can be riding. And what I mean by you can be riding is you can be riding a ideal condition track. And it can rain, it could not rain for 2 weeks. And yeah, we have a water truck. We keep the tracks always watered and stuff, but I'm out there riding in the back where it's wet anyway. Like if you had no water truck, there's so many different places here with the ground at different elevation levels, I guess, and tree cover that there's always a spot I was able to ride. I'm not even talking about blowing my bike up in the mud. I mean, not even having to create stuff. We did create new tracks, but there's just an unlimited amount of stuff to ride. Kevin, when are you coming on the Whiskey Throttle show?
What is Whiskey Throttle show?
It says creating content for the culture. It's like a Racer X style. Here, right here, they got a show. It's
content for the culture.
It's a motocross. Oh, it's Whiskey Throttle. This is Ping. It's like a moto media source, like Pingree's thing, right? You heard of that?
See, that's not at all what it seems like when Pingree calls me. Because that cat's always wanting to go deep. He's wanting to go deep. He's like, he wants to like you see the scar I got on the back of my leg from doing a moto in my shorts on J-Law's bike? I'm supposed to wear a helmet. I should probably wear gear. I can't get a gear sponsor right now.
You could have been wearing 2 helmets and that same thing would have happened.
Yeah, the helmet doesn't even help my leg.
Wouldn't have helped you.
Like, Ping wants to dig at that scar.
Yeah.
Like, he just wants to just dig on the scar. He's like, yeah, you were really good. Let's talk about all the shit you did. I do love Ping. Well, I'm going to do a show soon. That's a commitment. Ping, I'm coming on soon. But I will tell you, the one thing you were talking about fighting earlier in the video, one time I thought that I was going to have to fight J-Law. And it wasn't in 10, it wasn't in 7, it wasn't in 8. It was 1 week ago where I touched his #1 plate.
Oh, I was trying to think right here.
I touched the sacred #1 plate. So I took a broom and I hung it up on the wall high where he couldn't get it. And I'm like, dude, it's on full display. It was full respect. I didn't disrespect the plate. I'm like, man, he's not going to be able to touch that thing. He's not going to be able to get it. He's going to be super pissed and trying to figure out who did that.
He hung it in my house, by the way.
You see,
in which, whenever he found out that we did it, he stole his keys so he couldn't come to work the next day. And I'm just waiting on him to get me back. I don't know how he's going to get me back, but I know one day I got something coming from J-Law. He'd be like, you touched my plate, bruh. Don't do that shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The door will open up for me, and I'll have a great opportunity to get him right there. But, yeah, I might have messed up bringing my plate with me. I just didn't want to leave home without it. I don't really leave home that often, and I knew I'd be gone for a while. I figured if anything happens, I'm going to take my most prized possession with me. And I was fooling myself on the drive here. I was daydreaming. I kind of saw me and Kev maybe out there, like, with our plates at the pool, like, together, just chilling, talking about how we got them. And sure enough, I come here, he just hides mine on me. And now I put it in my truck. It's back in my truck, and that's where it'll stay.
If you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos, comment what you thought, and share it with your friends.